The arena was huge, bigger than any stadium on Earth. The sky above was dark, filled with stars and alien ships watching from orbit. Bright lights shined down on the middle stage.
Oh.
Laughing. Some were tall, with glowing skin. Others had claws, tentacles, or metal bodies. But all of them laughed at one person. Captain Rhea Cortez stood alone on the stage. Her face was bruised. Her left arm was broken. Blood stained her uniform, but her eyes still held fire. She didn't kneel. She didn't beg. She stood straight while the crowd laughed at her and all of humanity. An alien voice boomed through the arena speakers. "This is your final day, human. Earth has lost. You are the last of your kind in this galaxy council. You came to us asking for peace, but peace is not for the weak." The alien speaker was High Lord Vorik, leader of the Thaurax Empire. He looked like a giant insect, tall and sharp. He raised one claw and pointed at Rhea. "You are weak. Your people are broken. You will now be removed from this galaxy's records forever." The crowd cheered. Some aliens threw objects at her, pieces of food, trash, even small rocks. Rhea didn't move. Her heart pounded in her chest, not from fear, but from something else. Something only she knew, because deep beneath Earth's moon, something had already started. Leviathan is waking up, she thought. Flashback 7 days ago, Rhea sat in a dark room deep in Earth's last command bunker. The war was over. Earth had lost. The alien alliance was too powerful. Earth's cities were destroyed. Our armies were gone. The last hope was a secret only a few knew. Project Leviathan. Hidden inside the moon, it was Earth's final defense. Not just a ship, not just a weapon, something much more. It hasn't been tested. The scientist warned her. "We won't get another chance," Rhea said. "If I fail out there, activate it." "Understood." Voice key. Rhea nodded and whispered the code. Back to the arena. Present time. High Lord Vorik walked closer to her. "You could have joined us. You could have served the council like the others. But you humans always dream too big." Rhea's lip curled into a small smile. "And you always laugh too early," she said. Vorik stopped. His eyes narrowed. "What did you say?" Rhea didn't answer. In her head, she could feel it, a soft pulse, message from her neural implant. A cold voice echoed in her mind. Titan protocol activated. Leviathan waking. 6 minutes. The stars above the arena shimmered. Far away, something moved near the moon, but no one noticed. Not yet. A screen floated above the arena, showing clips from the war. Earth's cities in flames. Humans surrendering. Alien victories. More laughter filled the air. But then, the screen glitched. For a second, static. Then, a single symbol appeared. A blue glowing circle with 3 lines through it. The arena went silent. Vorik turned to look. "What is that?" someone shouted. "Hackers," said another alien general. "No," whispered a third. That's human code." The screen changed again. Now it showed the moon. But the moon was changing. A bright crack opened on its surface. Light spilled out. Metal plates moved. The laughter stopped. Location: near Earth-Moon. Sector: a massive shape rose from the moon's surface. Taller than a city, sharp, ancient, and silent. The Leviathan was waking. Energy readings exploded on every alien scanner in the galaxy. Alien captains started sending emergency signals. Unknown object detected. Power levels off the charts. It's not a ship, it's a fortress. And in the center of it all, one word lit up across every alien screen: locking targets. Back in the arena, panic had begun. Rhea looked up at the sky. Her smile grew. "You thought Earth was weak," she said. "Never understood," Vorik shouted. "What did you do? What is that thing?" Rhea's voice was calm now. "Cold. You should have listened when we asked for peace. Should have stopped laughing." She raised her head as her neural implant buzzed again. Weapons locked 45 seconds. Vorik ran toward her in rage. "Turn it off. Tell your people to shut it down." Rhea looked him in the eyes. "It's not my people anymore," she said. "It's the Leviathan now." Above the planet, Earth's final creation came to life. Its weapons moved into place. Its body lit up with blue fire. Energy hummed through its core, and the stars fell silent. The control room was deep under the surface of Earth's moon, cold, dark, silent for many years. Now, the silence was broken. Warning lights flashed red across the ancient walls. Machines long thought dead began to glow. Giant gears moved. Power surged through thick metal cables. A soft robotic voice echoed through the chamber. Titan Protocol activated. This was the core of Project Leviathan, a weapon hidden since before the war began. It had waited, patient, sleeping, ready for the right command that command had just been given. Location: Earth Moon Defense Vault Command. AI Korean. Old screen lit up. Data flowed fast. Name: Leviathan. Status: Waking Mode. Planetary Defense. Authorization: Captain Rhea Cortez. Verified from deep inside the moon. The Leviathan began to rise. Armor plates unfolded like wings. Energy reactors powered up, glowing bright blue. Thousands of defense turrets clicked into place. The mothership was no longer sleeping. It was becoming alive. Meanwhile, orbit above Earth alien scout ships detected the movement. Pilots screamed into their radios. "Unidentified object rising from the moon? It's massive. No. No heat signatures. It's not just a ship. It's something else." The Galactic Council's war commanders were alerted. On the bridge of a Thaurax battleship, General Kor watched the screen in shock. "That structure, it's not in our records," he said. A young officer turned. "Sir, it's locking systems. It's preparing to fire." General Kor's eyes widened. "On who?" The officer looked at the screen. Everyone, back at the arena, Rhea stood tall on the main stage. The laughter had stopped. Now only fear filled the air. Alien leaders ran in every direction. Some ordered troops, others tried to contact their ships. But it was too late. High Lord Vorik grabbed Rhea by the collar. "What did you awaken?" he shouted. Rhea didn't answer him. She was focused on the voice inside her head. Her neural implant connected to Leviathan's AI. System scan complete. Weapons ready. Awaiting final command. Rhea whispered, "Target only those who destroyed our cities. Do not harm civilians, but make them remember." Inside Leviathan, command AI. Voice, Loge cold. Mechanical voice responded. Confirmed. Tactical precision mode enabled. Hostile forces, 876 ships locked. Firing sequence ready in 120 seconds. Leviathan's defense systems opened. Each weapon was larger than a building. Plasma cannons, gravity warpers, MP storm launchers. This was not just a mothership. This was Earth's last god. Alien Council emergency meeting orbit. Command ship. The council leaders screamed at each other. Why was this not detected? How did Earth build this without our spies knowing? Quiet voice from the back answered. We thought they were broken. We stopped watching them. Screens around the room showed Leviathan rising. One elder alien leader whispered they didn't stop building, they just stopped showing. Location: human refugee ship, Far Systemine, a dark part of the galaxy. A small human ship floated with families, survivors of the war. A child looked at the screen and saw the Leviathan on the news. "Mom, is that ours?" the boy asked. His mother wiped her tears and smiled for the first time in years. "Yes, baby," she whispered. "That's Earth." Back to the Aranahai, Lord Vorik now looked small, weak, lost. "You're bluffing," he he said to Rhea. She stared at him coldly, watched the stars. They both looked up, and then the night sky changed. Above, dozens of alien warships exploded into light. One by one, no sound, just flashes of fire and debris falling. Alien forces tried to escape. But Leviathan was too fast. Lasers curved like they were alive. Missiles bent through space. Energy shields melted. Leviathan didn't fire wildly, didn't destroy everything. It was precise. Ships that killed civilians, gone. Ships that bombed. Earth cities gone, but peaceful ships, medical vessels, science stations, they were untouched. The message was clear. Earth was not here for revenge. Earth was here for justice. Inside Leviathan, final command, the AI spoke again. Phase 1 complete. All hostile fleets destroyed, awaiting next instructions. Rhea received the signal in her implant. She looked around the arena. Most aliens had run away. Others hid, shaking in fear. She stepped forward. "This is your warning," she said. Her voice echoed through the arena speakers. "We asked to be equals. You laughed. You enslaved. You called us weak." She looked up one more time. "Now you've seen what we hide under." The surface of the moon cracked open. Huge metal plates moved like puzzle pieces. Steam and light poured out. The hidden shape under the surface rose higher, casting a giant shadow over space. For years, aliens thought the moon was just rock. They were wrong. Inside it, Earth had hidden its greatest secret, a war machine built in silence, powered by fear and guided by cold logic. Now, it had woken up. Location: deep space. Near Earth orbit, dozens of alien ships floated in orbit, watching. The moon, they had laughed when Earth surrendered. They thought it was over now. They couldn't even speak. On every screen, a single message flashed. Leviathan online. Mothership status. Awake. Do not resist. The alien crews stared at the structure rising from the moon. It looked like a mountain made of metal. Long black towers reached toward the stars. Giant arms unfolded, each one holding weapons the galaxy had never seen. Spinning cores glowed with blue plasma. Thick shields covered the outer hull. This was not just a ship. It was Earth's answer to extinction. Location: arena, galactic. Council World Captain Rhea stood alone in the ruined arena. Aliens had stopped laughing. Some had fled. Others watched her with fear. She spoke through the speakers again. "You made fun of us when we were weak. You forgot what humans do when we lose everything." The sky screen above her showed live images of the Leviathan in orbit. Behind it, the moon was cracked and glowing, no longer hiding anything. Rhea's voice was calm. "This is not a weapon of revenge. It is a reminder." Inside Leviathan, AI core room, the command room inside Leviathan was cold, clean, and silent. Machines moved like clockwork. Lights blinked. Energy emmed. At the center, a glowing orb of light floated. This was Aura, the Artificial Unified Response AI, the brain of Leviathan. AURA's voice was emotionless, but clear. "All weapons online, shields active, threat scan complete. Target list uploaded." A small figure stood on the platform in front of Aura. A child, not just any child, an Earthborn hybrid. A secret project, half human, half AI. Trained from birth to interface with Leviathan. She wore a black suit with a glowing chest plate. Her eyes shimmered with data. She looked up at Aura. "Show me the ones who destroyed New York," she said quietly. Flashback Earth. 10 years ago, the skies over Earth had turned red. Alien ships rained fire on human cities. No warning, no mercy. Millions died. Cities fell. Earth's armies were broken. In that moment, plan for Leviathan became more than an idea. It became a promise. Back to the present, Leviathan in orbit, massive ship turned slowly in space. Turrets rotated. Weapons charged. Radar beams scanned the galaxy, but it did not fire again. Instead, it sent out a signal. One message, simple. Cold. Earth lives. Across the galaxy. Communication networks lit up. Alien leaders shouted. Some begged. Few prepared for war, but most stayed silent. Because now they understood. Earth had never truly lost. It had waited, and now. The sleeping giant had opened its eyes. Location, Alien Council Chamber, emergency broadcast, Stallion leaders met through. Holograms. Faces filled with fear. This machine, it's too advanced. Must strike it down before it grows stronger. Impossible. Our weapons did nothing. You saw what happened? One alien diplomat, an older species called the Thali, spoke. Slowly, I told you, the humans always come back. Silence followed his words. They do not forget, he said. They build in the dark, and when they return, they change the rules. Leviathan. A message sent the child inside. Leviathan walked toward the message console. She pressed one button. Across every major star system, every government, every Station 1 message appeared on screen. Earth does not seek war. We will never kneel again. Respect our voice. Or fear our silence. Back to Rhea in the arena. Rhea looked up at the stars. They laughed when we asked to be heard, she whispered. Now they listen when we don't speak at all. Behind her, a massive screen showed Leviathan hovering over. Earth's alien fleets had left the area, some to escape, some to plan. But the truth was now clear. The age of silence was over. Earth had returned, not as a weak voice in a giant crowd, but as a god no one could ignore. The galaxy was no longer quiet. Every major star system was buzzing. Screens blinked red. Sensors screamed with alerts. News channels played one message again and again. Earth does not seek war, but we will. Never kneel again. Respect our voice, or fear our silence. The message came from Leviathan, Earth's hidden godship. It had destroyed over 800 warships in seconds. And then, it simply stopped. No more attacks, no threats, just silence. But the silence was louder than war. Location: Galactic Council HQ emergency. Response from alien generals stood around a giant hologram of the moon. Leviathan's image rotated in red. Data swirled. Weapon stats. Shield strength. Power levels off the charts. It's still not moving, one commander said. Why isn't it attacking? An older general replied, because it doesn't. Have to. A scientist from the Ruxury species, a race known for strategy, spoke next. They've placed us in checkmate. Without moving a single piece, the council chamber fell silent. Then came the worst news. It's locking on. Location: Leviathan. Orbit around Earth inside. The control center of Leviathan. Lights glowed blue. The child commander known. Only as Nova stood calmly, eyes fixed on the data flowing in front of her. Aura. The AI spoke softly. Threat level scan complete. Scanning hostile empires. Targets locked for primary. No. 12 secondary. Across the galaxy. Alien. Military bases, fleet command stations, and secret weapon factories suddenly lit up with alarms. Warning. Incoming targeting beams. Source unknown. Coordinates match. Earth orbit. Nova nodded. Let them feel our eyes. Location: Thalrak's empire, homeworld citadel. High Lord Vorik stood on his palace balcony, staring at the sky. His empire had been the loudest voice mocking Earth. The first to attack, the most brutal during the war. Now, his strongest fleet was gone, and worse, Leviathan had locked onto his planet. A red dot hovered above his capital on every screen. His generals begged, we must apologize. Offer peace. Vorik trembled. They won't accept it. One general asked, then what do we do? Vorik's voice was barely a whisper. We pray that they don't speak again. Location: Human refugee colony, hidden sector, a small outpost on a dusty planet. Human survivors gathered in front of a screen. Children pointed at the Leviathan. Is that ours? One boy asked. An old man smiled, tears in his eyes. Yes, that's the soul of Earth. Cheers echoed through the camp. For years they ran, they hid, they cried, but now they stood tall again, because now the stars remembered there. Name. Inside Leviathan Tactical Room. Nova walked into the war map chamber. Giant screens showed every part of the galaxy, lines pointed from Leviathan to alien power centers. Locked on, locked on, locked on. Each line was a warning, each dot a silent countdown, but Nova didn't press the button. She simply stood there, letting the targets feel her watching. Behind her, Captain Rhea entered the room. "You did well?" Rhea said. Nova turned. "They're afraid now." "Should be," Rhea replied. "But we're not here to destroy them." Nova tilted her head. "Then why show our guns?" Rhea looked at the screen, eyes hard. "To remind them, Earth never stays broken." Flashback. Project Leviathan approval room. Years ago, during Earth's darkest hour, a secret council met underground. World leaders sat with scientists and generals. "We can't win this war," one said, "but we can end it someday." That day had come. They had built Leviathan not for war, but for one single purpose: to stop the laughter. Location: Galactic Media Network, across the galaxy. Alien news reporters changed their tone. Gone was the laughter, gone were the jokes. Now, the headline said, "Earth returns with power unseen Leviathan." Is it alive? Humanity speaks with silence. Galaxy locked in Earth's aim. Even enemies began to ask, "Should we talk peace?" Inside Leviathan, final commands. Zero spoke again. "Weapon systems ready, awaiting directive." Nova closed her eyes. She remembered her training, her birth. Her purpose, she spoke calmly. "Do not fire." Aura paused. "Confirm. Hold fire," confirmed Nova said. "Let fear do the work." Back to Galactic Council, reaction alien leaders breathed in relief. The human weapon has paused. We live for now. But even in their relief, they knew they would never treat Earth the same again. Because now, Earth didn't just survive, ruled the battlefield without firing a single. Across the galaxy, fear had a new name. Leviathan, the machine, had not fired again. No more explosions. No more threats, just silence. And that silence spoke louder than any weapon. Location: Galactic Council. Private meeting room the council had. Gathered in secret, no media, no soldiers. Only the top leaders of the most powerful alien empires. High Lord Vorik sat at the edge of the table, sweating. "They haven't moved for 2 days," he said. "They just sit there, locked onto our worlds." A Kragan warlord slammed his fist on the table. "They dare to point weapons at us. We should attack." "No," replied the Thali elder. His voice was calm. "If they wanted war, we'd already be dead." Vorik leaned forward. "Then what do they want?" The Thali looked up at the stars through the glass ceiling. "They want to be heard, without speaking." Earth's refugee ship, civilian broadcast room, a woman sat. In front of a camera, she was a teacher before the war. Now she was a voice for the survivors. She looked tired, but proud. "This is a message," she said, "to those who laughed when Earth fell. We are not looking for revenge." She paused. "We're just reminding the stars that humans don't break." The message was broadcast freely, uncensored. Aliens across thousands of systems watched. Some turned away, some cried. Some remembered the crimes they committed during the war. Leviathan didn't need to say a word. The message was already delivered. Inside, Leviathan Observation Chamber. Nova stood in front of a large glass wall, looking down at Earth. The blue planet spun slowly beneath her. Captain Rhea entered, holding a data pad. "No attacks," Rhea said. "But 12 major powers just moved their fleets away from Earth." Nova nodded. "The strategy is working. No fighting," Rhea said. "No missiles, just presence." Nova turned. "Let them wonder what we'll do next," Rhea smiled. "Let them fear our silence." Flashback. Earth. Year 1 of the war in a destroyed bunker. A scientist recorded her last message. "We were never the strongest," she said. "But we adapt. We endure. And when the time is right, we evolve. Message was stored deep inside Leviathan. It had become part of the AI's mind. The AI had learned silence is power. Location. Thalrak's Empire Vorik's war room alarms echoed. One of Leviathan's targeting beams had narrowed, now pointing only at Vorik's personal palace. His advisors panicked. "It's not firing," one said. Vorik stepped outside, heart pounding. A single drone floated in the air. No weapons, just a speaker. It played a human voice. "You killed civilians. You burned cities. Now we stare back." Then the drone flew away. Nothing more. No missile. Number. Beam. Just the feeling. That death was close. Location. Neutral news station debate. Showa. Debate began across the galaxy. Is Earth now the strongest race? No, they're just bluffing. Then why hasn't anyone attacked them? Because no one wants to find out what happens when the silence ends. Inside Leviathan AI Core Room URA, reported updates to Nova. Galactic fleet movements decreased 72%. Hostile chatter reduced. Diplomatic messages incoming, 19. Requests for peace, 7. Requests for alliance, 3. Nova smiled. Now they want to talk. Rhea entered behind her. Will we reply? Nova looked at her, then back at the stars. No. Across the galaxy, fear spreads. Aliens feared Earth. His words before. Now, they feared Earth's silence even more, because no answer meant no control. No, it meant anything could happen. And in that uncertainty, Earth held power. Location. Human outpost training grounds. Shung humans trained with new weapons. Ships were repaired. Satellites were rebuilt. Not to conquer, but to make sure no one ever laughed again. Leviathan final scene. Message in the darkest part. Of the ship, a single file was stored. It was never shared, never opened. The name on the file was, "If Silence Fails." Aura kept it locked, because Earth was peaceful now. But if the galaxy forgot again, then silence would end, and Leviathan would speak. Silence was working. Galactic. Fleets had stopped moving. Threats had turned into offers of peace. Some alien leaders even praised Earth's restraint. But deep inside Leviathan, a plan waited hidden dark. Dark, cold. It had one name. If Silence Fails. Location. Leviathan, level 99, Black Chamber Array. The AI mind of Leviathan activated a protected system. Warning. Protocol vault accessed. Level. Omega Red. File. If Silence Fails. Inside a black chamber with no lights. The floor opened. 12 silver capsules rose from the ground. Each one held a sleeping figure. Each one. Human, not ordinary soldiers. They were Project Echo clones trained only for destruction, built for one mission. If the galaxy ever refused to listen, location. Galactic border, secret alien meeting. 5 alien generals met in a hidden asteroid. Base, they whispered in fear. Earth hasn't responded to our peace messages. They don't want peace, they want us afraid. Then we attack before it's too late. But what if they're bluffing? One general opened a file. This came from a spy inside the human refugee camps. He pressed play. A short video showed Leviathan opening its black chamber. 12 silver pods, sleeping warriors. The room went silent. They have more than weapons, one said. They have monsters. Location. Leviathan, AI Core Room Nova, stood still, reading the If Silence Fails file. Rhea looked nervous. You activated it? Just open the file, Nova said. Didn't start anything. Rhea frowned. If we release them? I know, Nova said quietly. Can't be stopped once they wake up. She paused. But if this galaxy strikes first again, we won't beg for peace. We won't ask for justice. She looked up at the stars. We'll erase the ones who laughed last time. Flashback: the fall of Marston years ago. Alien fleets destroyed the Mars colony. They didn't just win, they celebrated while killing. Some aliens wore human bones as trophies. Some filmed the burning cities and laughed that day. Was born, not to fight wars, but to finish them. Location: alien broadcast, emergency alerts, suddenly, across the galaxy. An anonymous message played on all networks. A robotic voice spoke only one sentence. If silence fails, the stars will burn. No one knew who sent it, but everyone knew who it came from. Leviathan, location. Alien civilian world reaction, and many alien planets, civilians protested. Stop provoking Earth. We don't want war with humans. Take the targeting. Beams off our cities. Governments were shaken. Even warlords began to doubt their strength. Fear had become real, because if Leviathan broke its silence, the galaxy would scream. Leviathan, Project Echo pods, began to glowing the dark chamber. One pod blinked, then another, and another. AURAS voice echoed inside the room. Biosigns stable. Dream programs ending. Units ready. 8 of 12. Final lock held by Nova. Nova stood in front of the console. She placed her hand over the control. A red button blinked. Awaken. She didn't press it. Not yet. She just whispered, "Don't make us do this." Cation. Earth Human Council room leaders sat around a table watching reports. So far, silence had held, but attacks were starting again. Small ones, pirates, rogue warlords, old enemies testing Earth's patience. One general stood. Permission to release echo units. An old woman, the prime speaker of Earth, answered softly, "Only when our last word is ignored." Final scene, the edge of war somewhere in deep space. An alien fleet began to move toward Earth. 30 warships. Armed. Quiet, they thought. Leviathan wouldn't notice. They were wrong. A single word appeared on every ship's screen. Watched. Another warned. And then one last word before all power shut down next. Oh. The silence was cracking. But the galaxy didn't know. If it breaks completely, Leviathan will not speak. It will. The galaxy had one last chance. Leviathan still waited. Its weapons were quiet. Its warriors still slept. But the silence was no longer peaceful. It was warning, and some refused to listen. Location: deep space. Attack fleet Iron Star 30. Alien warships moved fast, heading straight for Earth. They flew dark. No signals. No warnings. Just one goal: strike before Leviathan can respond. They believed Earth wouldn't risk a war over a small attack. They were wrong. As the fleet crossed into the edge of Earth's space, every screen blinked red. A message appeared. You were warned. Then the stars lit up. Location: Leviathan. Bridge Nova stood at the center of the bridge, watching silent explosions on distant screens. Aura confirmed. Fleet Iron Star neutralized. 0 human casualties. Warning complete. Galaxy response: mixed. More fleets preparing. Silence. Failing. Dova turned to Rhea. This was the last one. Rhea nodded. The last warning. Dova whispered. Then it's time for the last word. Flashback Earth Council. Years ago, the Leviathan Project had one final rule. If the galaxy attacks after all warnings, give them the last word. Make sure they never speak again. This wasn't just a ship. It was Earth's voice when no one would listen. And that voice was now ready to speak. Leviathan Project Echo activation inside the dark chamber. The 12 silver pods glowed bright. Each pod opened slowly, one by one. The Echo soldiers stepped out. Clones born from the DNA of Earth's greatest warriors, genetically built for survival. Trained in silence. Programmed only for one thing: to end the war that never should have started. Their eyes were calm, their minds sharp. They didn't speak. They didn't need to. Location: Alien Superpower Military Command HQ. An emergency broadcast rang out. Multiple Earth signals detected. Leviathan launching drones. No wait troops, the commander laughed. What can 12 humans do? Then the screen showed footage. 12 Echo units landing on 12 separate enemy planets. At the same time, one by one. Entire fleets went dark. Bases offline, weapon factories silent. No survivors reported Leviathan. Tactical Command URA reported. Echo units successful. Strategic targets neutralized. No civilian casualties. Galactic military strength dropped by 48%. Incoming messages. 102. All say, we surrender. Nova stood still. Her face had no emotion. Transmit one final message. She said, the last word sent across the stars all. Screens across the galaxy lit up again. Nova's face appeared, calm, young, human, but behind her, the stars burned. She spoke just 8 words. We asked for peace. You chose silence. Now, we speak. Behind her, Leviathan's main weapon charged once. It fired into deep space not to hit a planet, but to show power. The light passed through a solar system and cut a moon in half. Then the screen went black. That was Earth's last word. Location. Alien worlds, aftermaths all fleets. Stopped moving. War factories shut down. Governments signed peace documents within hours. No one wanted to be next. For the first time in history, Galaxy was quiet, not from fear of death, but from respect. Location. Earth. Homecoming Leviathan. Returned to Earth's orbit. Echo. Units were placed back into cryosleep. Nova walked the ship one last time before resting. Captain Rhea spoke. Beside her, it's over. Nova nodded. For now. What if they forget again? Nova looked out the window toward the stars. Then, we remind them again. The galaxy was finally quiet. Not from fear, not from war, but from understanding. The great Leviathan had returned to Earth's orbit. It no longer locked weapons. No threats, no targets. Its purpose was complete. Location. Earth United Human Council ceremony. A large gathering was held on Earth. Survivors from every colony, every destroyed city, every dark memory stood together. The human flag waved high, Captain. Rhea stood on the stage. Nova stood beside her. In front of them were millions. Behind them floated Leviathan, like a silent guardian. Rhea took the microphone. We are not here to celebrate war, she said. We are here because we survived it. She paused. Some say we became monsters, that we built something too powerful. She looked up at the sky. They forget what we were before the flames, before the bombs, before the laughter. Her voice grew strong. We were peaceful. We asked for friendship. We reached out to the stars with open hands. The screen behind her showed old footage humans waving at alien ships, sending messages of peace, first contact moments. They laughed at us. They tried to erase us, but they forgot something. She turned toward Nova. We remember. Flashback war year cities burning. Children hiding underground. Alien soldiers walking through fire with smiles. Humans crying. Alone. Forgotten. And then, the birth of Leviathan. Steel, fire, silence. A machine not built for revenge, but for memory, location, galactic broadcast. Now every species tuned in. This time, they chose to listen. Nova's face appeared on their screens again, but this time, she wasn't surrounded by war. She stood in a quiet field, holding a flower. From Earth, she spoke softly. We are not your enemy. We are not your slaves. We are not your joke. She bent down and placed the flower into the ground. We are the ones who remember. Location. Galactic Council. Peace Treaty. Signing leaders stood up from their chairs, signed the new peace charter. The document was simple. No more attacks on humanity. No more silence. No more mocking. Beside the final signature, 3 words were printed in glowing blue ink. Earth remembers everything. Leviathan, final sequence inside Leviathan. The AI aura shut down its weapons systems. The ship dimmed slowly. Leviathan entered standby mode. Not dead, not forgotten, just waiting. Deep in its system, one file remained untouched. Only open if the galaxy forgets again. Last seen years later, young human girl walked with her grandfather on Earth. She looked up at the sky. Grandpa, is it true? Did they really laugh at us? The old man nodded. They did. But we beat them. He shook his head. No, we reminded them. The little girl looked confused. Reminded them of what? The old man smiled and pointed up at Leviathan. Still glowing quietly in orbit, that Earth never forgets. End scene. A new sign appears on the outer edge of Earth's system. A small satellite blinked to life. It showed one message to every ship that passed. Welcome to Earth Space, you are safe here, but no THIS.